Anime is really freaking weird. You've heard it before, right? The classic, when I'm watching anime alone, there's a really badass fight scene going on, but as soon as one of my family members walks in, it automatically becomes a scene that is, well, let's say questionable. However, those questionable scenes are nothing. In fact, these fan service scenes are incredibly tame compared to some of the nasty stuff I have in store for you today. So, these are just some, yes, some of the weirdest fetishes in all of anime, and I will warn you that some of these get pretty hardcore, like, bruh, level of hardcore. You ready? Well, let's go. Okay, let's kick this off with one of the tamer ones on the list. This anime is centered around one thing, and that is tights. Yes, girls' tights. I thought a foot fetish had to make the list somehow, and I honestly thought this was one of the more unique takes on this. So this is a 12-episode anime following 3 girls in school together. However, for around 90 to 95% of the time, the screen is filled with girls' legs and feet beautifully animated in their tights. Like, the first episode focuses on the girls' tights being wet from the rain, which I think kind of perfectly sums up what you're in store for with this one. This anime is called Mira Tights, and if you're into anime girl legs and feet, well, you're gonna love this one. Amping up the crazy, we are moving on to a god-tier anime that is full of dirty jokes and references. This one is called Shimoneta. So the premise of this anime is that Japan has become a nation cleansed of all things dirty. The population even has to wear these collars that monitor all lewd activities and make sure that they are kept to minimum. Absolute zero. However, a terrorist group has arisen to oppose these chastity laws, and it all gets pretty insane. Now, the fetish aspect we're highlighting in particular is centered around the character Anna, who has become completely obsessed with her mission to collect the love nectar of her crush, Okuma. Anna is desperate to win the love and affection of Okuma, and in one infamous attempt, Anna bakes him cookies that include the very special and very nasty ingredient, of her own love nectar. To this day, this has to be one of the wildest moments in all anime, and the memes, oh man, the memes are freaking brilliant. For this next one, I had to dive back in time to 2005 to find one of the most obscure fetishes on this list, and it's pretty weird. So this comes from an anime called Gallery Fake, and it's about a guy called Fujita, who is the owner of an art gallery that deals with fake items and, of course, the black market. So in episode 6, he deals with a woman who is into antique clocks, and when I say that she's into antique clocks, I mean she's into them maybe a little too much, you know? In one scene, she's seen in the bath, which is surrounded by loads of ticking clocks. It's really freaking weird, and she's even interrupted by her masochist manservant, who is more than happy to receive a beating from her for interrupting her special time with her clocks. Yeah, they don't make anime like they used to, man. This next anime had to be on the list. Those familiar with the channel maybe even saw this one coming. So we're walking that dodgy tightrope of the dog fetish in Inukai-san's dog. Our main protagonist is found by his crush Inukai and is taken back to her house. Wondering why this is going on, he soon finds out that somehow he has been turned into a dog, and events from here, but they get a little extreme. Inukai is one mega crazy chick, and her thing with dogs, yeah, not cool, you know? This anime shows off all the things that you should not do with your dog. It includes licking the dog, summoning the dog by showing him your pantsuit, and dressing up lewdly as a dog while playing together. There are scenes of questionable tail holding, and so much more that only accelerates in the manga. And I know there are other anime with this similar dog-like premise in them that I could have used as an example, but honestly, this genre is one I really don't want to dive down the rabbit hole for, you know? Okay, I guess you knew Lolicon had a strong possibility of being on this list. Well, you're right, but this next anime is a 2-for-1, where the other fetish is a pretty strange one. The main protagonist, Kiri Haimura, has an obsession with cutting people's hair. Yeah, this guy loves beautiful hair and cutting hair a little too much. It of course seems fitting that he ends up meeting a girl with the longest hair in all of anime, whose hair can't be cut because of a family curse. However, it's her lucky day because she meets the hair fetish master, who can cut her hair because of his special scissors. What they don't know is that by cutting her hair, it is set off some sort of death game where people are trying to kill this cursed girl with special items. Kiri's scissors, of course, just so happen to be one of those special items. This anime is called The Severing Crime Edge, and you know what? It's actually a pretty fun ride. Definitely check it out. Okay, we're going old school again for this next one, and it's worth it. Kinda. So this is Golden Boy from 1995. It follows Kintaro, who is a specialist in part-time work. He basically takes up a job and then he masters it, and it's pretty much always for a really beautiful girl. In one episode, he works for Madam President, and this woman is hot. Like, I don't know about you, but anime girls from back then had this extra level of hot to them, right? Or is that just me? Anyway, he is employed by her as a janitor, which leads us to the next fetish, the toilet fetish. So Kintaro finds Madam President's toilet and he lets his urges get the better of him. He gets off rubbing his face on the seat and he even drinks the bidet water. Yeah, and this is only to be caught in the act by Madam President, of course. It's kind of awkward. So yeah, not worth it for the toilet fetish part, but totally worth it for the Madam President part. Noise. This next one is easily one of the grossest, most messed up fetishes on this list. Many people really can't stand this one. Others love it. Where do you stand? So this anime is about a new transfer student called Mikito Urabe. This girl is a little strange, a little weird. She definitely has that nut job vibe about her, but one day she falls asleep during class and she drools on the desk. The main character, Sabaki Akira, does what any gentleman would do in this situation. Yeah, he decides to taste Urabe's drool. Basically, he was like, yummy yum, and then became a crack addict, but not for crack, but for Urabe's drool. He then, of course, falls in love with her and ends up becoming her boyfriend, and it's all kind of fun and games from there. The anime is called Mysterious Girlfriend X, and it's there to satisfy all your drool-wanting needs. And, you know, it's actually kind of a wholesome romance underneath all the saliva antics. Sticking with fluids, the first episode of this next one left me squinting at my screen, desperately trying to get my brain to comprehend what I just saw. Now, confessing to your crush is not an easy thing to do, right? You know, it takes guts, bravery, and in this case, science. Now, Ueno is an amazing inventor and the head of her middle school science club. She creates many amazing inventions, but not for the advancement of mankind. No, she creates these to tackle the one thing she has never been able to overcome: Tanaka, the boy she is in love with. In our first introduction to How Clumsy You Are, Miss Ueno, the first episode shows us Ueno creating a device that can turn the foulest of liquids into clean, drinkable water. And maybe you can see where this is going, but yes, Ueno is trying to get Tanaka to drink her purified urine as a way of confessing her love. It was crazy, insane, and I don't think any of us would have drank that, right? Also, if you want more grossing out on the pee subject, then definitely check out Tenchi no Drop. I've never gotten over that one. This next one has a big old etchy tag slapped on it, yeah boy! And it deals with the next fetish I want to highlight, the slave fetish, or I guess the power play. So our boy Keiki dreams of what we all dream of in our teenage years: to have a girlfriend. He's in luck as one day he receives an anonymous love letter alongside with a pair of white pantsu a win. He obviously doesn't know who they're from, but there are a few candidates who may be the potential Cinderella. One of those girls is Koga, a sadist who wants to dominate Keiki. She wishes that he will become her slave and she his master. However, there is another girl called Tokihara. She's the complete opposite, a masochist who has a fetish for being dominated and wants Keiki to make her his pet. Our boy's literally living the dream right here. Anyway, this anime is Hensuki. It's brilliant, and I had to choose this anime to demonstrate this fetish. It's honestly one wild ride. I'll probably end up actually making a video on this one for science. Anime has the power to make anything sexual and to turn it into a fetish. I've seen this particular fetish pop up in a few anime, but again, I chose this anime in particular for the good old 2-for-1 that we get in this scene when it comes to, nasty fetishes. The main fetish I'm talking about here is the toothbrush fetish. Yes, the toothbrush fetish. Anime, it just does what it wants, doesn't it? Anyway, the anime I chose to highlight, this one was of course Monogatari. Other than being super confusing when it comes to the watch order of this series, Monogatari also has the power to confuse you in the, what the frig am I watching and why is this peak kind of way. And man, they went to town in this scene, like the animation, the detail hinting at things, the way Karrarin wriggled and squirmed, Koyomi's dialogue during the act of the toothbrushing. They didn't need to go that hard with this scene, but they sure did. I don't know. The 2-for-1 aspect, I hear you say, well, yeah, Karrarin's his sister, so yeah, that's another fetish that oddly comes up a lot in anime. Incest. Yeah. Moving on, but staying weird, we jump into the bizarre world of JoJo's. You see what I did there? JoJo's can get ridiculously insane, and honestly, there are a few fetishes that I could have highlighted here, but one of the ones that really did stick with me was from Diamond is Unbreakable. We're talking about Yoshikage Kira and his severed hand fetish. Yeah. I mean, I don't really need to explain any more beyond that, but Kira is basically a serial killer who targets women with beautiful hands. Further tidbit of information is that he found out he had this fetish for hands when he was aroused by the Mona Lisa. Her hands, obviously. So yeah, he's pretty twisted. He basically murders a woman, then takes her severed hand and treats the hand as if it was his girlfriend. He treats these hands as if they were basically sentient. He talks to them, has lunch with them, and even offers them gifts. However, once the hand begins to decay, he simply disposes of it and goes on the hunt for a new one. It's super gross, super creepy, but what else do you expect from a JoJo's villain, right? Okay, this one covers sadism and masochism. We briefly talked about this fetish with Hensuki, of course, but this anime I've chosen to demonstrate this fetish, man, it does it best. It does it best. The anime is Prison School, where 5 lads get caught peeping on the girls and are sentenced to the school's prison, run by the student council, who hate men and are not afraid to deal out any punishment. What they don't know is that these boys actually love being tortured and punished by the girls, so for them, this hell is actually more like heaven. And I gotta say, the beauty of Prison School is that not only does it cover this fetish so well, but it also covers pretty much every other one we have mentioned in this video, and it's all done in a way that is truly so freaking hilarious to watch. In fact, I recently made a whole video about Prison School, so if you want to find out more about this legendary yet completely twisted anime, then make sure to click the video link right here.